Welcome and thank you for renting with Bear RV. In this video, we would like to show you the operation of the motorhomes systems. Different vehicle models may have some variation of equipment, but their operation is generally very similar, if not identical. In addition to this video, there is an operator manual provided with the vehicle. To properly operate all appliances in the motorhome, this main battery switch needs to be turned on all the time. There are two exceptions. During refueling or filling propane, this switch needs to be turned off. Don't forget to turn it back on. This is the monitor panel, the central control center. From here, several appliances will be operated. If you have no city water supply connected, you will need to turn on the water pump here. If you are driving, stepping away from the vehicle during the day, or retiring for the night, it is recommended to turn the pump off. To make hot water, the water heater needs to be turned on. The control light will turn on for a few seconds and then go off, indicating the water heater started up and is heating the water. It will take an average of 20 to 30 minutes to have fully heated water, all 6 gallons. For safety reasons, the water heater should be turned off while driving. Overnight, the noise from the water heater may be disruptive. Should the control light come back on, start the process anew. If the control light keeps coming on, make sure the propane valve is on. To verify, light a burner at the cooktop. And if the control light never goes off, then there is a technical defect requiring attention. The vehicle is equipped with multiple tanks. The display here indicates the fill levels: propane, the coach batteries, freshwater, black water, and gray water. The vehicle is equipped with a generator to provide power for the household appliances, such as the air conditioner, the microwave, TVs and DVD players, and wall outlets. To start the generator, press and hold the start side of the switch until the generator runs. The hour meter will start up and count the runtime. The generator will not start or shut off if the vehicle fuel level is at 1/4 tank. There is usually a time delay before the power is fed into the vehicle, and the microwave is a good indicator when power is available. To turn off the generator, just press and hold the stop side of the switch until the generator shuts off. It is important that all household appliances are turned off before starting or stopping the generator to avoid overload and sparking. Vehicles with a fixed power cord need that cord plugged into its proper outlet for the generator to provide power into the vehicle. More to that later. Before extending and no passengers occupy the furniture in the slide-out, depress and hold the button for the direction you like to move the slide-out and hold the button 3 seconds past the point of the motor stopping. For most vehicles, the engine needs to be turned off and the ignition key removed, while a few require the engine to be running. Please consult the posted instructions. The electrical system of the motorhome consists of 2 main systems: 12-volt battery power and 120-volt household power. The battery supplies all the power to the lights, fans, slide-outs, and water pump, but also to the furnace, the water heater, and refrigerator, which work in combination with propane. In case of an appliance failure, verify the fuses are still all in good order. A red indicator light points to a defective fuse. The fuse box is generally located at foot level, either in the bedroom, the dinette, entryway, or hallway. Additional troubleshooting can be found in the vehicle manual. Household power is supplied mostly from the campground. To connect to the campground power, turn off the breaker main switch on the pedestal first. Some vehicles have a fixed power cord. Just connect it to the pedestal. Vehicles with detachable power cords, connect it first to the vehicle and then plug into the pedestal. Now turn on the breaker main switch at the pedestal. Before disconnecting the power cord from the campground, turn all household devices in the vehicle off. Then turn off the breaker on the pedestal and disconnect the power cord. For fixed power cords, plug it back into the outlet in the storage area. Household power can also be supplied by the onboard generator. The generator can also be operated directly on the generator itself. To gain access, remove the service access door. The starting and stopping of the generator is the same process as from the monitor panel. The prime switch serves to feed fuel to the generator in case it struggles to start. Remember, the vehicle fuel tank needs to be more than 1/4 full for the generator to start and run. In case the running generator is not providing power, the main breaker here could be tripped. Pointing towards you indicates it is turned on. An important maintenance item is the oil level. After 8 hours of operation, the oil level needs to be checked here. The generator uses the same oil as the vehicle engine, and running it with low or insufficient oil will cause damage for which the renter is responsible. To prevent overheating and permanent failure, the service access door needs to be installed at all times when the generator is running. Most, if not all, wall outlets in the motorhome are protected by the ground fault circuit interrupter, commonly known as the GFI, located in the bathroom. If the vehicle has power from the campground or generator, the GFI can be tripped, which shuts off the power to the outlets. To restore power, depress the reset button in the GFI outlet. Appliances in a motorhome are unlike regular household appliances in the sense that most of them have to operate on battery power and propane. Further, they have to be compact and survive the vibrations from driving down the road. No matter the type of cooktop or range, they all run on propane. To turn the burner valves, always push them in first before turning. Once the propane is flowing, it can be ignited either with a lighter or match or the built-in manual spark igniter. Just turn the knob in the indicated direction until the flame ignites. To operate the oven, have a lighter at hand as the pilot light needs to be lit manually. First, push, turn, and hold the oven valve knob to pilot. Then manually light the pilot flame while still holding the valve knob pushed in. Hold the valve knob for at least 30 seconds until the pilot flame remains lit. It may require several attempts or longer time to hold the valve knob. Once the pilot flame stays on, turn the oven valve knob to the desired temperature. After finishing baking, turn the oven valve knob to the off position. The microwave works like any household microwave and requires power from the campground or generator. If you do not use a microwave at home, it may not be the moment to start now. For the refrigerator to work, it is very important that the vehicle is parked level. The refrigerator runs mainly on propane for cooling. In auto mode and when connected to household electricity, it will switch over. The check light, on some models accompanied by an audible buzzer, will turn on if there is an issue with the propane system. In that case, turn the fridge off and verify there is propane at the cooktop. If you can light a burner, turn the fridge back on. After a recent refilling of the propane tank, it may require several attempts. The temperature can be manually adjusted, either on the control panel for some models or with moving the temperature sensor inside the refrigerator. If this sensor is too low, the cooling may stop. At elevations of 5,500 feet above sea level or higher, the performance of the refrigerator on propane can be negatively affected, and household power operation is strongly recommended. The rooftop air conditioner for the living quarters requires household power from the campground or the generator. The air conditioner is only able to cool a temperature difference of about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. If the interior temperature reached 110 degrees, the AC can only cool to approximately 90 degrees. Over time, the interior air will cool down further, but it may take several hours. To prevent the AC from overloading the power supply, start out with a higher thermostat setting such as 80 degrees and lower it over a period of time instead of selecting the lowest setting right away. To aid in the cooling, it is recommended to keep all windows and roof vents closed, the shades or curtains drawn closed, and the entry door opened only briefly to get in and out. To speed up the cooling process, it is recommended to close all ceiling vent outlets, to close off the bed and bathroom and the cockpit as well as the cab over area while opening the quick cool vent directly below the air conditioner. The furnace is being operated exclusively from the wall thermostat. On some models, it requires a switch to turn the furnace on and a lever to select the temperature. On others, the mode and temperature need to be selected by tapping buttons. When selecting the furnace, the fan settings have to be set to auto or the air conditioner blower will interfere with the furnace. Elevations of 5,500 feet above sea level or higher can negatively influence the performance of the furnace or prevent it from heating altogether. The water system of a motorhome requires special attention due to limited capacity of fresh water and sewage and the only temporary connections to the city services. For hot water, turn on the water heater when arriving at the campground. If you are not connected to city water, use the water pump. If you have a portable water supply at your campsite, you can connect the fresh water hose directly to the vehicle's city water connection and skip the freshwater tank and water pump. The maximum pressure should not exceed 45 psi or use a pressure regulator. On some vehicles, a valve handle has to be turned for city water operation. To refill the fresh water tank, use only potable water. Either insert the hose end into the filler opening until the water overflows to the vent opening, or, if equipped, connect the hose to the tank fill connection until water overflows to the ground underneath the vehicle. The shower head contains a shutoff valve to save water during lathering. Before using the toilet the first time on an empty tank, add the toilet chemical and flush generously for about 20 seconds to prevent odors and dissolve the waste matter. To flush, step carefully on the foot pedal. Halfway down adds water to the bowl. Further down opens the valve to flush. Be sparingly with toilet paper to avoid clogs and flush generously after each use. To empty the wastewater tanks, connect the sewer hose first to the drain opening at the campsite by screwing the funnel-like adapter into the drain pipe. Some older campgrounds or dump stations may not have a threaded pipe. Find something to weigh down the hose end. Then connect the sewer hose to the vehicle's drain pipe in place of the sewer cap. Please ensure the sewer hose is fully locked into place to avoid spillage. Black water is toilet waste, and the tank should only be emptied, even with full hookup, at a campsite, even when it is 2/3 or fuller to allow all waste matter to dissolve and flush out. The larger valve is for the black water and needs to be drained first. Pull out the handle all the way. Some vehicles are equipped with 2 separate black water valves. Both need to be opened to drain the tank. Important: close both valves after the tank has drained. To assist in cleaning out the sewer hose, it is recommended to have at least a half-full gray water tank. Gray water is from the sinks and showers. In combination with full hookup, fresh water and sewer, it may be advantageous to leave this valve open to avoid an overflowing shower. Some vehicles are equipped with 2 separate gray water tanks and valves. Each needs to be opened to drain both tanks. Important: close both valves after the tanks have drained. To assist in cleaning out the sewer hose, it is recommended to have at least 1 half-full gray water tank. After all waste tanks have been drained, the sewer hose should be rinsed out with clean water. But never have potable water equipment, such as fresh water hoses or faucets, make contact with the sewer slides hose to avoid cross-contamination. When parked at the campsite, along the curb, or in a driveway, the vehicle has to be as level, horizontal, as possible from front to back and side to side. This is not just for a more comfortable sleep, but is required for the refrigerator to work properly. Too much out of level can cause damage to the refrigerator. To allow for leveling, drive-up wedges are provided with the vehicle. Before extending any of the vehicle's slide-out, walk the outside of the vehicle to ensure sufficient space is available. The awning can provide shade while enjoying the outdoors. Wind and rain are the natural enemies of an awning, and it needs to be rolled in whenever you are not able to attend to it. When you leave the vehicle unattended to go on an excursion or other activity, and when you retire for the night. TVs operate as any modern household TV. Even the menu is similar, if not identical. The key difference is that the channel settings have to be done at every new location. If you changed campgrounds, you have to do a new channel reach. This applies to over-the-air reception with the roof-mounted antenna, as well as for the campground-provided cable TV. For over-the-air picture reception, the amplifier needs to be on. For cable TV reception, the amplifier needs to be off. DVD player input source at the TV is usually AV or HDMI. All vehicles are equipped with multiple beds, of which some have to be first set up. Roll over the insert panel, mount ladder, and for small children, secure the safety net. Unlock the switch and lower the bed until it stops. Mount ladder, and for small children, secure the safety net. Pull the seat portion up and out until it lays flat. On dinettes with table legs, lift the tabletop and remove the legs. Insert the top between benches and rearrange cushions. Fold over flip section after slide-out was extended. The motorhome is equipped with a propane tank to operate the cooktop, water heater, furnace, and the refrigerator, if not connected to household electricity. As a safety feature, a propane alarm is installed in every motorhome somewhere along the floor. Should the alarm go off and the indicator light be red, exit the vehicle immediately without touching any electrical switches. Turn off the main valve at the tank and wait a few minutes before re-entering the vehicle to open a few windows for ventilation. Turn off the main battery disconnect switch by the entry door and verify the cooktop valves are all turned off. To assist the resetting, blow into the propane alarm opening. With the main battery switch still off and the window still open, reopen the main valve on the propane tank and re-enter the vehicle to determine if propane is still detectable. If no propane can be smelled, manually turn off the refrigerator, the water heater, and the furnace. Turn the battery back on and start the refrigerator first. Observe if any propane can be detected. If yes, turn it off and close the propane tank again. If not, turn on the furnace and observe if any propane can be detected. If yes, turn it off and close the propane tank again. If propane could be smelled in any of these tests, close the main valve on the propane tank and find a professional repair shop for repairs. Contact the help desk for assistance. There are two methods to determine the fill level of the propane tank. The first is on the tank itself. The maximum fill level of the tank is limited to 80% for operational and safety reasons. The second method is the display on the monitor panel inside the vehicle. To refill propane, visit a designated refill station. Many larger campgrounds may have one. There is no self-serve refill. The main access point to the living area is through the entry door. There are two locks on that door, the latch or handle lock. Some lock types require two different keys, while some lock types share one key. It is recommended to always push on the door when turning the keys to avoid breaking the keys. To prevent injury, always hook in the door if equipped or keep it closed. The built-in door holder strut is no guarantee to keep the door open in strong winds. To access the exterior storage areas, unlock the doors by pressing against the door with the knee while turning the key. Same when locking. Whenever turning the key, apply pressure to the door. The key fits into the locks only in one direction, and they need to be fully inserted. Otherwise, they could break off. Class C. Pop hood, activate release, lift hood and prop hood with rod. Class A. Unlock hood, pull, and move hood. Here you can access some vital vehicle fluids for regularly inspect the engine bay. The motor oil needs to be checked at least every 500 miles, best on a cold engine in the morning. To check for the proper level, remove the dipstick fully and clean it off. Insert it all the way and pull out and read the oil level between the minimum marking and the maximum marking. If the oil is at or below the minimum marking, fill only half a quart or liter at one time. Let the oil drain through the engine before checking it again, about 1 minute. Overfilling the engine with oil is just as bad as operating it with not enough oil. The engine coolant needs to be inspected regularly. Do this only at the reservoir and best before departing the campsite. Never remove the cap when the engine is hot. Injury could occur. Should the coolant level be below the cold mark, add only drinking water. The windshield washer fluid can be refilled here. A motorhome in general drives and operates like a regular large SUV, pickup truck, or van. Special attention needs to be paid to the vehicle's size. The length matters when making turns. The width, including side view mirrors when driving in city traffic, through tunnels, or across narrow bridges and roads, especially in state and national parks. And the height through underpasses, but especially in parks and campgrounds among trees. To start the engine, step on the foot brake, insert the ignition key, and turn the ignition. If available, turn the ignition key housing and not the key itself to the start position. When the engine started, let go of the ignition. The ignition key can only be removed in the off position. To shift the transmission out of park, depress the foot brake. Pull the steering column mounted gear shift towards you and move it down to the drive position. For center console mounted gear shifts, depress the release button on the gear shift and move it to the drive position. The parking brake on most motorhomes is activated by foot. It is strongly recommended to come to a complete stop first, then apply the parking brake before shifting into park and then turning off the engine. To release the parking brake, step on the foot brake first and pull on the release handle above the parking brake pedal. The driving lights are controlled by a separate switch near the steering wheel, which also allows the dashboard illumination and dome light operation. The proper mirror adjustment allows you to see along the side of the vehicle and the rear corner with the bottom rear clearance light for when making turns. Most vehicles have manually adjustable side view mirrors. They can be easily tilted up and down. It may require a bit of force to twist the head to adjust from side to side, but best to use proper tools. A few vehicle models are equipped with electric adjustable mirrors and have a switch for the adjustment. Thank you for renting with Bear RV.